Greetings, everyone. This is me, Zara Berserk. Uh, I've come to show you something, correction of a Sunni Hadith that says that Khala, Prophet Muhammad married his aunt, maternal aunt, and some Christian uh, critics of Islam also say the same thing. Anyways, we don't get angry, and so here it is. The hadith that I saved, but I have to search it out again. Copy paste. You see. So they worked it out that Khala bint the Hakim or Hakim was probably Hakim was one of those ladies who presented themselves to the Prophet for marriage. So they worked it out that Khala bint Hakim was Prophet Muhammad's maternal aunt through the other hadiths, and they say that she presented herself to Prophet Muhammad for marriage. Aisha said, "Doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man?" However, Khadija had presented herself to Prophet Muhammad earlier on, much earlier on, and Prophet Muhammad married her. But when the verse, "O Muhammad, you may postpone the turn of any of them, your wives, that you please," was revealed, Aisha said, "O Allah's Apostle, I do not see but that your Lord hurries in pleasing you." Now this could be another point, and doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything to do with him accepting Khawla bint Hakim's proposal. As we see that maybe the verse that may have is in this you may say is for the believers in Surah Nisa. Forbidden to you are your mothers. This you may say is for the believers, right? Forbidden to you are your mothers and your daughters and your sisters and your fathers, sisters and your mother's sisters, and daughters of brothers and daughters of sisters, and the mothers who nursed you, and your sisters from the nursing, and mothers of your wives, and your stepdaughters who are in your guardianship of your women, whom you had relations with them. But if not you had relations with them, then there is no sin on you, and of wives of your sons, those who are from your loins, and that you gather together between two sisters, except what has passed before. Indeed, Allah is of forgiving, most merciful. Surah Nisa, ayat the number, let me just check, 23. And then in Surah Azab, we are told what this prophet, who the prophet can marry. O Prophet, Surah Azab, ayat 50. O Prophet, indeed we have made lawful to you your wives to whom you have given their due compensation, and those your right hand possesses from what Allah has made. What Allah has returned to you of captives, and the daughters of your paternal, the daughters, not your paternal uncles' wives, right? Can you see this? So there was one coming here who was political, he or she, political grasp, saying that the angry Christians, her friends would get angry at me. And you see, even as a Shia, I would not get angry at Christians, Christian critics of Islam. So I had to depart from the ex-Muslim Christians now, converted to Christianity, and I unsubscribed also for another reason, but thank God, to Muslim Ahmad. He's an Arab. So he's also said that he shows the hadith and says that Prophet Muhammad got married to his aunt, whereas it doesn't say in the hadith that he got married to his aunt. So for other reasons, I unsubscribed, but thank God I did, because the Christians now, the ex-Muslims even, have made it very difficult for us, for me, to prove, I have to correct them. I didn't correct him because I never checked properly, like I was looking at it. And even before that, other Christians whose channels I went to live streams and were saying that Prophet Muhammad got married to his maternal aunt. I didn't correct them. But now I am, since I understand now that he did not get married to his maternal aunt, because here it says in Surah, and it doesn't even say in the hadith actually that he got married. So Muslims, I don't think, will believe in that, what the Christians have been concocting, getting carried away against Prophet Muhammad. And Aisha could have said because of this part, not that he accepted. It doesn't say he accepted Khawla bint Hakim's proposal. So, but in other words, like if the Prophet wishes to marry her, a believing woman, if she gives herself to the Prophet, and maybe before that we are told that from the Sunni Shia side, from the Shia side, I know for sure that the polytheists and all, they were marrying their aunts, many things like this. So that's why in the Quran ayats of Surah Nisa ayat 23, you're not allowed to marry your aunts, maternal or paternal aunts. So having made this clear, and why Aisha may have said this in the hadith, Sunni Islamic sources, that Allah hurries to, and also, yeah, you accept this part. Doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man? Right? This part? But when the verse, "O Muhammad, you may postpone the turn," now it takes a turn. You may postpone, but this verse doesn't go with what Aisha has said. Doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man? Now look at the verse that has been quoted by the Sunnis, the Umayyad, Aisha and all. But when the verse, "O Muhammad, you may postpone, not propose, you may postpone the turn of any of them, your wives, already your wives, and that you please," was revealed. Aisha said, "O Allah's apostle, I do not see but that your Lord hurries in pleasing you." Sorry about this thing here. So this whole thing, I'm not very eloquent to explain. You can go to the Shia websites and the other Muslim websites, and please correct yourselves, and nicely and politely, Hosana Kana on Ahmad, ex-Muslim, and Christian Prince if he says this, or Rob Christian, or Sira International, or Adam Seeker. You can correct them. So you can take and add with your eloquence. Pakistani is very eloquent, but don't hurt people. Let them, Imam Ali says it's better to take injury than to hurt others, right? Better to take injury. So, but this does not make me a Muslim, nor going back to Shia Islam, because there are many other things. But I had to correct this. It's been going around on YouTube amongst the Christian ex-Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad married his maternal aunt when he didn't. You can see what in Wikipedia about Khawla bint. Wait a minute, where is it? Sorry, I'm really bad right now. Khawla bint Hakim. What she proposed to Prophet Muhammad, here we are told in Wikipedia, she was the wife. She was married to Uthman bin Mazun, both being two of the earliest converts to Islam. She was the woman who asked the Prophet whether he would like to marry any woman again after the death of Khadija, as he had loved her dearly and needed to move on from his mourning. So, after the consent of the Prophet, she conveyed the message to Sauda bint Zama, a widow of Sakran bin Amr and Abu Bakr, for his daughter Aisha's hand in marriage. Widowhood. In the third year, A.H., Uthman bin Mazun died. Sometime later, after the death of her husband, she asked Prophet Muhammad to marry her. However, he did not respond to her, since he did not want to accept marriage proposals from any women after Khadija. Khawla remained a widow for the rest of her life. So surprisingly, but here what I said, even what I said about the verses coming, that you can marry your maternal aunt's daughters, not maternal aunts. In Surah Ahzab, to the Prophet it is said who he can marry. And a believing woman who offers herself to you. Could be wrong. Anyways, whatever the hadith says, which goes against the ayats, you cannot take them. We cannot accept them, right? It goes against the Quran ayats. We cannot accept them. So, this even, that she offered herself to Prophet Muhammad, and in the hadith we are not even told that he accepted the proposal. Aisha's thing comes in, and it's about another point made. But that a woman can offer herself to you, yes, because it is allowed. So Aisha is wrong on that. So needing to correct Aisha also, Surah Azab verse. Here it says, a believing woman. Surah Azab ayat 50. This part, you see, a believing woman, if she gives herself to the Prophet, and if he wishes, there's a if, he doesn't have to accept it, that's the thing. The poor believing woman is, so this on another point I'm saying, not on Khawla bint Hakim's case. She was the maternal aunt of Prophet Muhammad. This I'm saying that that's why Aisha may have said, no, on this part it's against Aisha. That God says a believing woman, if she gives herself to the Prophet, if the Prophet wishes to marry her, so God does not rebuke a believing woman who offers herself to the Prophet. The second point of the Hadith is that Allah beckons to, your wishes, to fulfill your wishes. Allah is at your beck and call, Aisha says. So here where it says you can delay whom you like, or where does it? And believers, we certainly know what we have made obligatory upon them concerning their wives and those their right hands possess. But this is for you in order that there will be upon you no discomfort. Where's that ayat where it says you may defer, delay? Maybe it's the next ayat, Surah Azab. So 51. Yes. 51 ayat says and Allah knows what is in your hearts, and Allah has been ever knowing, ever forbearing. Of them you may put off any of them you wish. Let's go in. Maybe, is this the beginning? What? How does it? You or Muhammad? Sorry, that was the last form of the part of the ayat that I read out, which was given first on Google search. You, O Muhammad, meaning, may put aside whom you will of them, or take to yourself whom you will, and any that you desire of those wives from whom you had temporarily separated. There's no blame upon you in returning her. That is more suitable, that they should be content and not grieve. Why? Content. Yeah, so the ones who you have temporarily put off, so there's no blame on you in returning to her, so that now they may not grieve anymore. The punishment may be over. That is more suitable, that they should be content and not grieve, and they should be satisfied with what you have given them, all of them. And Allah knows what is in your hearts, and ever is Allah knowing and forbearing. So this hadith coming from the Sunni side cannot be accepted and may not be, I don't know, can trust this, although it is in Sahih Bukhari, and you can look at whether it's Hasanat or what the grade is. So I'm wondering what went wrong here. And if you think the site is from some Jew, then didn't I open another sunnah.com? I did open another tab. Okay, we go to sunnah.com. This site is not from any Jewish, spy or something. Narrated Hisham's father. Khala bint Hakim was one of those ladies who presented themselves to the Prophet for marriage. Aisha said, doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man? But when the verse, O Muhammad, you may postpone the turn of any of them, your wives, that you please, Surah Ahzab verse 51 was revealed, Aisha said, O Allah's Messenger, I do not see but that your Lord hurries in pleasing you. So this part is, of course, because he can delay who he likes, the wives, So on that, Aisha said, I do not see but that your Lord hurries in pleasing you. But we're back up here in the beginning where Aisha says, doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man? Then maybe the verse has may have come that verse, Surah Azab, verse 50, where a believing woman can, if a believing woman presents herself to Prophet, then if the Prophet wants to marry her, can marry her. So that ayat is not given here. Against Aisha's saying, doesn't a lady feel ashamed for presenting herself to a man? And we see the Quran ayat is there. It's in the same surah but 50. It's in ayat 50. So a grade, I never get the grade here in sunnah.com. I don't know how they find the grade, whether it's hasanat, sahih, or dhaif. So that Prophet Muhammad did not marry his aunt. The Surah Nisa ayat, believing men and women, who they can marry and who they cannot marry, and who are not mahram and who are mahram to them. And then we have Surah Azab ayat 50, for the Prophet who he can marry, maternal aunts' daughters and paternal aunts' uncles' daughters, like that. So I don't know why. So in one of the, it says here in a Christian website also that I found, Catholic. So I hope you would not get angry at anyone, because there is more. This, the Sunnis may, accepting lies of the Christian critics of Islam, may have gotten carried away in that and made it difficult for us ex-Muslims. Now, as an ex-Shia also and as an ex-Muslim also, I go on another point now, having corrected them about this, that yes, Prophet Muhammad did not get married to Khawla and didn't even sleep with her. And as for Dr. David Wood or someone saying that he went down the grave and slept with Fatima bint Asad, it doesn't mean having sex with her. The Nauzubillah, it means that like I slept on my mother's bed with my mother, right? When my father used to be away, traveling for business purpose or things like that. He lived in Singapore also. So if I say that I slept with my mother, would that mean that I had sex with my mother? Because you see, Imam Ali's mother was very dear, beloved to Prophet Muhammad. And he had lost Abu Talib and all. So when he must have dug her grave, he just went inside and slept there next to her, like a son would next to. But she was not his real mother. She was Ali's mother. But he had lost her mother since long. He was an orphan. And there are the hadiths from the Shias that Fatima bint Asad never turned her back to Prophet Muhammad, something like this. Whenever he would enter or come in her sight, she was told something like this. I read, sorry, I can't right now, I'm not feeling well, to have searched that hadith, Shia hadith. But as I was reading my books, Shia books in Karachi, I think I came across that she would, God would tell her like to turn, she would, her face towards Prophet Muhammad and keep herself facing him. Okay, so this, yes, there are some very great things in my Shia religion. I don't deny that, but This is what I have seen. I need to correct the Shias also on this. Now, so it says in Surah Tawbah that he believes in the believers. Now I can see where the Shias will have that those believers were in Surah Saf died. So here in Surah Tawbah ayat 61 it says that he is all ears, they say, but that it is for their good that he is all ears, and that he believes in Allah and believes the believers. I was like shocked. There's something wrong here. Believes the believers. And is a mercy to those who believe among you. So he believes the believers. I will do more search on that, research. Now, but here in Surah Hadith also, it says that hasn't the time come for the believers? Surah Hadith. I save it and, sorry, I cannot go back to it. Surah Hadith ayat 16, I think. Has the time not yet come for believers' hearts to be humbled at the remembrance of Allah and what has been revealed of the truth? And let me get it, the whole ayat. Has the time not come for those who have believed that their hearts should become humbly submissive at the remembrance of Allah and what has come down of the truth? And let them not be like those who were given the scripture before, and a long period passed over them, so their hearts hardened, and many of them are defiantly disobedient. So the Shias are very, like, they were right to say that only Imam Ali was a true believer and the chief of believers, because multilingual Quran we're going to, and Surah Hadith, and those who believe in Allah and His messengers, they are the sincere and the witnesses. So we go to what is this? Where have I landed myself? 16. According to Ibn Abbas, the verse was revealed after 13 years, and according to Ibn Masud, after 14 years. From the day of the Holy Prophet began, the day the Holy Prophet began his mission, it shows how shallow was the faith of the companions in the beginning, like the faith of the Jews who became arrogant and corrupt, and their hearts grew hard. But it says here, has not the time arrived for the believers? So in a very nice manner, polite, you don't become disbelievers. Don't become like these Jews, Ahl Kitab, and Christians. So they are addressed, the Shias will say, they are addressed as believers here. Although they have, their hearts have yet not been humbled. But it's in a very polite manner. Allah tells them, you are believers. Has not the time arrived for the believers that their hearts in all humility engage in the remembrance of Allah and of the truth which has been revealed to them, that they should not become like those to whom was given revelation aforetime, Ahl Kitab, Jews and Christians. But long ages passed over them, and their hearts grew hard. And another one is Surah Safayat. Again, Allah, multilingual Quran, commentary section. O you who believe, why say ye that which ye do not? These words here are especially directed to the faint-hearted companions who had talked much but failed miserably to back up their resolution in words with firmness, in action, as at the Battle of Uhud, refer to the commentary of Ali Imran, verses 121, 128, 140 to 142, 144, 151 to 156, 159, 166 to 168, and Surah Anfal, verse 16. Those who do not put into practice what they preach are hated and disliked by Allah. So comes the third verse. Grievously odious is it in the sight of Allah that ye say that which ye do not. Meaning you say what you do not do. Grievously hateful. Truly Allah loves those who fight in His cause in battle array, as if they were, as if they were a solid cemented structure. Now the fourth ayat of Surah Saf, and the commentary goes from the Shia side. It was Ali ibn Abi Talib who, like a solid cemented structure, always stood between the enemies of Allah and the Holy Prophet at every battle he fought. Refer to the above noted verses in the commentary of preceding verses for Uhud, Surah Baqarah 214 to 251, and Ahzab 1 to 3, 9 to 27, for Khandaq, Al Imran 13, and Surah Anfal 5. For Badr, for the Battle of Badr, and Surah Barat or Tawbah, 9th chapter of the Quran, 25 to 27 verse ayat. For Hunayn, Fath, Surah Fath, ayah 20. For Khaybar, Surah Fath, ayah 20 for Khaybar. Aga Mehdi Puya says, a solid cemented structure refers to order, discipline, cohesion, and courage. And remember, Moses said to his people, O my people, why do you vex and insult me, though you know that I am the messenger of Allah to you? Then when they went wrong, Allah let their hearts go wrong. When they went wrong, then Allah let their hearts go wrong. You see, now you can bring it to the will of Allah, that some ex-Muslims say that Allah willed that we go astray. It's not like that. I've already explained it in my previous live stream very pathetically, and not succinctly like the Shias would and Imam Ali would, right? And I've made some mistakes. So I hereby declare to retire from this and let the Shias have their day, right? The Ummah of Islam also may be wrong. You cannot rely on me. But definitely rely on Allah, the Messenger, and Imam Ali. The Ummah of Islam, I see in my play and mistakes I make, but Shias will not make one mistake. Who have read the whole Quran. The Ummah of Islam and the Hadiths of Imams. They have many books. And they've gone to pilgrimages. Right? Imam Hussein's pilgrimage. Imam Raza. We didn't go. Hajj. The Ummah of Islam also now and again slandered the Holy Prophet to see an example of their rebellion. But this here it says people, oh people, oh people. Here it says believers. Now again, the Shias feel they have not made any mistake. They've read the whole Quran, every commentary they know by the letter. Their hadiths, Imam hadiths come. So, oh ye who believe, why say ye that which ye not do not? It could have been, oh ye people, or oh ye Muslims, right? Since there is an ayat which says, don't call yourselves believers. To the Bedouins it says. So you may be enamored and quite happy with your Shia Islam. Don't let me burst your bubble. Sayyids also, Shia Sayyids. Excuse me. So you can have a look at this and the ayat which says, O Bedouins, faith has not yet entered your hearts. Don't call yourselves don't say you are believers. Call yourselves believers. Since faith has not grown out. Ujurat. The Bedouins say, we believe. O Prophet, say to them, you do not believe. You should rather say. So here Allah does not practice politeness towards the Bedouins. Or, in other words, indirectly, but politely telling them, O believers, why do you say what you do not? In that verse, if the Shia say, how politely he addresses those companions of Prophet Muhammad, faint-hearted, not true believers. But here to the Bedouins, he's given it very directly. The Bedouins say, we believe. Say to them, you do not believe. You should rather say, we have submitted, for belief has not yet entered your hearts. If you obey Allah and His Messenger, He will not diminish anything from the reward of any of your deeds. So here he doesn't practice that yes, believers, but Muslims are those, but you are Muslims, you are not believers. Yeah, how would he say it? I don't know. Politely, indirectly. So Surah Hadith, what do we have here? Has the time not come for those who have believed that their hearts should become humbly submissive to the remembrance of Allah? This I've already done. We go to a multilingual. Anything else I need to? Surah Azab, Islam Awakened, Surah Nisa. So two things, two topics at the same time. Surah Saf. So you see, you have to. The Ummah of Islam also now and again centered the Holy Prophet. To see an example of their rebellious attitude, referred to Hadith in Hadith al-Qirtas in the commentary of Surah Nisa at 65 and Hashar, Surah Hashar, Ayah 4 in the commentary of many verses, Baqarah 51, Taha 9 to 9 to 98, and Maryam 53 are a few among them. It has been shown that there are close similarities in the experiences of Prophet Musa and the Holy Prophet, referred to Deuteronomy 18:15 verse and 18 in the Old Testament. You see? And here we go again. We have a Bible verse here in the Quran, confirming the law which came before me, and give glad tidings of a messenger to come after me. But they say no messenger will come after him, the Christians. However, this part, confirming the law before me. So Matthew I gave, right? So Shias, you are right. Salah, you don't need to send anyone or make ex-Muslims try to deceive me. And even such a eminent scholar, Islam critic like Dr. David Wood, I reject about Prophet Muhammad marrying his aunt, Khala bint Hakim. Right? Happy Shias? Be happy. Your Quran ayats are well with whatever you say. Thank you.